you get into these moments where you're actually able to get first shot as well against your players or your opponents, you have to win these duels.
Ooh, Agent Select already locked in for RRQ here, and they're going for a double duelist look. All right, that's a little bit spicy to pull out here. The Yoru with the Neon, it seems weird on paper, but that Yoru is basically filling the same slot, something like a KO would on this map, with those double flashes to act as an initiator. On defense, the TPs for fast rotates are really nice, but what you're missing is that breach for the really heavy line control. You basically only have the Omen Paranoia, or maybe that Sovadar to set Monyet up.
And that's why you probably have that Yoru coming through as well. If you don't have that breach to initiate, at least the Neon's there to block those lanes, and then you flash and double swing out in those moments. But I love, at least for the side of RRQ, you're keeping a Sentinel player going into this composition. That was something that was really good for Gen G to play against Fnatic, because Fnatic was very slow on their attack side. It allows for them to get good information and to readjust when you're able to fast TP on a Yoru, when you're able to fast rotate with the Neon. I think they are coming in with a composition that wants to fight toe-to-toe against Fnatic.
Xero got caught off on some of his lurks in map number 1. I'm hoping to see a little bit more from him here, because when you're playing this kind of super heavy double duelist comp, you're going to pull a lot of rotations, create a lot of gaps that he can capitalize if he's on point with his lurks.
And I love that they moved away from the Fnatic comp, because Team Heretics are the only team that has ever beaten them with the comp they invented. This is new. We've never seen RRQ bring this out before. So hopefully Pansy and Kukuka, this is going to help them to send it to a map 3.
We're hoping so, right? I want to see this go the distance. I want to see the best of RRQ, because we saw a glimpse of what Fnatic can bring on map 1. But Bea, these compositions, the Agent Select we've just seen, what stands out to you here?
I mean, there's a couple of things. Of course, I expected RRQ to be running double duelist, for it to be a Neon instead of the ISO. And also, very important, it was Monyet that actually played the Yoru, and Denkin was on the ISO. So he's moving away from that Yoru, going on to the Neon, and probably having a very different plan. I love the fact, and what the analyst was saying about, you know, you don't have a breach, but you also have the stuns with the Neon, finding a little bit more versatility in their composition.
10 more seconds and it starts up. RRQ need to remind themselves of who they are. That first seed comes with a lot of expectation. They need to live up to it now. Starting out on the attacking side, of course, Fnatic on the defense. And if you're spotting out Kayak, you might be having to start commanding that flea on sight. The man was monstrous in map 1. Can he get handled early here?
A little bit of contact over an A. Look at the positions for the rest of Fnatic.
Oh, but it's been spotted. Monyet knows about this. A bit of a trade out. But I like this. I like what we're seeing, kind of drawing this eye towards B, trying to draw this. But if anything, you've now got a brawl with the big boys down towards Long. A pop with the shield, but it doesn't save you now. Jeffkin! Surprise appearance behind, going to find Boaster. Clears all 3. It's beautiful work from RRQ.
Absolutely gorgeous from their side, getting all of that attention, all those eyes onto B, so to have that beautiful draw, forcing Fnatic to have a response, putting some pressure somewhere else in the map. If you have 3 people defending on A, Chronicle is going to be stopped by that trapwire, his position revealed now for RRQ.
And I love that, whether or not they were aware of how well they manipulated Fnatic wanted to take back space, it worked perfectly with that pressure on B. Now, can they close this out cleanly? Chronicle and Crashies to try and mount some sort of resistance, not looking likely. Last now, Crashies, a 1v5 asked. And I think we know the answer. And it's Crazy Guy to close. That is exactly what the doctor ordered for RRQ. A flawless beginning in map 2.
The resurgence for this team still has to begin on this second map. It would be their first map win in the tournament. So starting like this was such a beautiful play, such a good read from the side of Fnatic, reinforcing Kayak not playing alone, getting that tell and reacting to it instantly. Clean round for them. We know that there's been some thrifties.
Just keep it clean, right? This has to be a really methodical build back up for RRQ. And Fnatic going to make a bit of a wild play. Why not? You've only got Classics. It's the Sheriff in the hands of Alpha that you've got to keep an eye on. And I do want to check it.
I must wait a moment.
Actually didn't get the full information at all. A lot more players have slipped the net than they expected. You can see the surprise on their faces. Crazy Guy, doesn't matter. Monyet looks lethal. Already flying back in here. They're dealing with it well. No threats to be found. As out for the last one alive. And he's not in the action. You can see them trying to find a bit of stability, slowing it down. Now, at this point, they were still fine. They haven't lost out on too much. It was a couple of pistols here and there. But these remaining weapons, they'd love to keep. Alpha. Oh my god, it's good on one, but it's not good enough on the rest. RRQ pass the first test.
A lot of classics coming in from Fnatic, just that one sheriff. I think it's a very, very fair trade. This is also one of the reasons why we're so excited to get onto Haven, see Monien on the duelist.
Lovely.
I expected a different one, but I'm going to take the Neon. If it means this kind of reaction, this being fast, being on the game, all eyes on, I am so for it.
But we saw this before, we saw this on Lotus. The first 2 rounds are picked up by RRQ, and they only ended up with 5 in the end. So, this would be where we start to build in. This would be game on. You can see the early beginnings here, but Monyet looks hungry. Already starting to try and take that space, puff out the chest a bit, but it's Kayak to win out this fight. So, backs away, job done. That's a tick in the box for him.
Still, Alpha here in position in case RRQ still wants to go for this A hit.
But I like the proactivity elsewhere on the map from Fnatic too, this mid-walk. It's a bit audacious in a 5v4. You don't need it necessarily, but I like it. Jemkin, the one to be tested now. Is he up for it? He is. Clears Kayak. This is good. This is heads-up work.
It's
now
not
they
the
can
first time
pause
that
for a
Fnatic
second.
goes for this.
No, it's certainly not. They can pause. They can slow things down for a sec here. They have got a nice 4v4. They've now shown presence across the map. This keeps Fnatic wanting that back, but the freeze doesn't work. Crazy Guy just maybe eyes off the prize for a moment and gets punished. This now encourages Xfero to go for his own wonder, but Alpha's no slouch in this. He's already on the case. Maybe not clean on the first attempt, but there does open up a chance for a trade. This now feels a bit scrappy. Individual near on, but a clear sight is a clear sight. Kushi's done well on this. Tap on the spike, but Bosa's not going to disrespect the dart. He's going to wait it out a moment. Has to wait a couple more for Chronicle to get closer.
He's going to take a small peek, going to force out that drone. He's going to be spotted, but as you're saying, Chronicle's just joining the fight. 2v2 situation.
They hear the steps as well. Jemkin going to be blinded. Now it's game on. Kushi forced to swing. Punishes! It's dreamy from Kushi. Converting this bonus is everything they would have wanted here. After a shambles of a first map, that is how you start things off.
Love the patience that they've had working around the map, thinking about the tells that Fnatic could have if Kayak was going to have that presence on mid that he did not only show at the beginning of the round yesterday, but also in that position beneath the window, finding that kill, just forcing Fnatic to keep clearing. We know that they've been very insistent in keeping and retaking that A control. Kushi as well, seeing him on the Soba, he's been so good this tournament.
So good. A standout in what was a bleak beginning for RRQ. He was the one who picked up the pace. Speaking of pace, Monyet back to business. Fighting down long, and speaking of fights, Boaster's failed his there. Jemkin all too aware. These smokes, these plays that Fnatic are making feel, I don't want to say readable, but similar, right? There's a lot of tape of Fnatic here, and someone I do want to talk about in this round, unless it gets a bit messy, is Alpha. It's rare he underperforms. But
yesterday he did not have a good Haven.
No, he did not. And even he was saying on his socials that, you know, he wasn't that happy about it. It's something that I want to see more from him on. We know the potential is there. It's rare to see him having an off game. This is a chance to make up for it, but a slowish start, 2-3, not exactly the worst in the world, but again, you hold it to a high standard when you talk about, you know, the young wonder kid. But this round shouldn't be the one that they get too much of a fight back on. RRQ need to be able to handle their business here. I don't want to see silly mistakes.
Ooh. Would you consider that a silly mistake?
I mean, Kayak hitting that shot, it just feels like it's a Kayak moment. But in the meantime, what they've done is really good. They've taken control of this C site. They should be able to get into a good post plant here, and there shouldn't be too many worries.
Giving Jemkin that spike, so he's one away from his ultimate. That could definitely make the difference on the next round.
Jemkin is the one who's probably going to receive the vast majority of Fnatic's attention. First player swings off the back of the clone, but now Monyet there to support, slows down the tempo. Crazy Guy going to try and disconnect away towards long as well. Time being bought here.
Kayak on the flank now with that Stinger.
And it is Stingers though. You can see the range being held by Xfero as well. He wants to keep it at arm's length. Having a little bit of a back and forth, but again for Kayak it's... Oh! Okay, that's a shot. But Jemkin quells that threat down to the 3v3, but time is going to start ticking here. They still have the smoke towards the spike. He's still got one. Yeah! Beaming him down! This guy's aim is nothing to be underestimated as Chronicle is a formality. RRQ are here to play.
4-0 in the score right now. RRQ with 3 very important ultimates. for what could be one of the rounds that defines this half. Fnatic back
enemy
on track and to get some money in. But if Monye and Jenkin keep finding the effect that they are, same goes for Cushy.
We're back, boys. Let's play the game.
They could actually be very back.
I don't disagree. You're starting to see them firing as well, right? You're seeing individuals.
In the way that you're doing it.
And look at the ults as well. Near on snowball round. Now, an operator for Boaster, it's not going to be... I mean, if they've done their homework, it wouldn't be a surprise to see it in his hands either. Normally sits towards that B side, top side. Gets that nice deep line to play with.
Constant fight for A, but Kaya gives up very, very quickly. He doesn't want to go up against Monye and Champion, not in this state.
Again, just trying to keep Fnatic making these kind of very hard calls, right? A lot of question marks on the map, and that's a good audio cue for Monye. If they're aware that, generally there's a player, tucked maybe towards sewers, hearing them already back away is pretty good, and I don't think the Aldrone actually managed to press that corner, but Monye's got two players to deal with. Kayak wants the information, Monye wants a fight. He wants blood, and he's going to only get his own left on the floor here. Nice follow-up from Kayak as well. It's clean. The spike does go down. That's a big bit of info, but pressure on the C side as well. I'm a little bit baffled by this one. Jemkin almost over-succeeding here, pulling the players away, and now they want to make the most of that.
4v3, Boaster now peeking on to see with that operator.
Ooh, Kron, that was kind of nasty. Boaster, shot goes astray. Thought that was his all day, not to be. But a 2v4 Bayer, these are the rounds that can break the spirits if you lose them.
Cage triggered.
How
Spike
can they...
is going to go down.
Jemkin goes walking. I quite like this. He's got to get proactive. They need to get a kill.
Timing.
Yeah, he's been spotted. This would be a miracle if he even survives. He does get down Kron. That's still valuable damage, but a very heads-up jump spot from Crashies. Noting out Xfero. Swings in. Can't deal with it. Fnatic re-clear the site. 3 stay standing.
Yeah, Boaster, a couple of operator shots, no kills. Maybe just give it back. Just give it to Kayak. And speaking about Kayak, him finding 2 in almost all of the rounds was something that we saw yesterday, and apparently we are going to see today. On the side of RRQ, I expected Jenkin to go with his ultimate, with a TP out, something that I have seen him done in the past multiple times. Gather the information on one side of the map. If you do not like it, you go back, rearrange with the rest of your team, and just go on a very hard execute somewhere else in the map. Fnatic, they find their footing a little bit just for this round.
Now, historically, Alpha, when you're talking numerics with his ultimate, was very, very good. He seemed to always get that. But it has not been a good couple of days for him. He's had a hard couple of performances as of late here. Again, this became the Fnatic comp, right? So people started to read into it well. How do RRQ keep this in mind? Kayak's got his as well to throw into the mix. Player spotted. Monye on the hunt! This guy is so bloodthirsty, I love it. Sheer aggression. And he doesn't look like he's particularly stopping either. He is off to the races. Oh my god. Oh! It's rejected! Called out RRQ! Oh, bounding into the site. Crashies left isolated, he's in trouble because look who's hunting him down. Does well on one, but it doesn't matter. Oh my god, this is unreal. And again, Boaster needs to start landing these. He's got to start landing these because Cushy's just taken away Kayak. It's time to save. You're going to be walking away with that.
You have to. 100 credits in the bank for him.
The tempo that RRQ are playing with is just gorgeous, Bayer. I love this.
But it is so necessary for them. They've been struggling so much
dealing
with Kayak. Boaster is going to go down. 4 alive for the side of RRQ, back on the board with that 5-1. But as I was saying, they've been struggling so much with that A control. They're like, you want to fight?
Let's go.
Sure you want to fight?
Yeah.
Okay, let's freaking go. We have 2 duelists, all of this. Alpha not shooting when he saw Monye walking in, just trying to work with that trigger discipline. We see all of the tells.
And I have to point out Xfero here. For me, yes, obviously, Monye looks super explosive, exciting, taking the space, all of this sort of stuff, yes. But Xfero is still checking that cubby, still checking that corner. Great
He's that second
spacing.
layer, right?
Yes.
Monye is nothing without him.
Correct. And that great spacing, even clearing back towards quad as well. It's so nice seeing this. It feels like they've suddenly got confidence after a map 1 that felt lacking, I think is the best, fairest way to put it. But this is the team that scares people, right? They can shoot so damn well. Jemkin's on 8-1. Easy to miss when you've got Monye flying into the site. But this guy is right there. It's cost Fnatic an early time out here. Round 7, they think, right, coming into this, we kind of need to slow the roll. We've got a bit of a weird buy, but we've got plenty of ults.
Exactly. They're going to have 4 ultimates to use. Boaster's also 1 away from his, so it could be a full bingo for them with the ultimates, as we're saying. buy is going to be not the best, but so many things that they can do. We saw it in the past. What we also see is a judge in the hands of Monier. And with how fast he's been entering onto every single one of the sides, I'd be very scared. This is giving Jing. This is giving Jing with the raise and the, oh god.
Oh, wait, no. Has he gone for the stinger instead?
No.
I know, devastating.
Boo.
Okay, but 5-1.
Oh.
Make it
I
hurt.
thought of Heretics for a second. Sorry.
Make this hurt. RRQ, you had a rough map one. Show us who you are. Show us why you had that first place in APAC. Show us why people were eyeing up Jemkin like he was the second coming of Christ. This guy was everything to them, and I like this change. Again, this early kind of expectation, right? They've set this idea. There's going to be pressure. There's going to be a lot of players behind it. And Fnatic have reacted as they feel as though they should. They put 5 players to this. And all the meanwhile, they're walking middle. They're already in the door. RRQ getting that plant down. Fnatic are being outcalled on this.
Spike planted.
Spike's gonna go down. A lot of noise from Monier. Nothing is going to be spotted. And all the positions from RRQ. Cushy already taking control of that garage, clearing it out with the drone. The paranoia not going to hit.
Nice shot.
Crashes is going to hit on Pharaoh.
Yeah, okay. Let's don't make Boaster jealous.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
But there's still a post plant, right? There's still a post plant here that is going to be hard to break because of the time. You can hear it. The clock's already ticking. So it's going to be down to the wire. And Monier will happily invest the ult if it means the round's secured. And he's just going to go nuclear. Look at him farming them up, dropping the bodies until Crashy's denied. But this is round 1. Again, I love what we are seeing. RRQ playing with the conditioning. They know that Monier's been in their head. They know that they've had to try and deal with him, and they punish this here.
Yeah, especially with a lower buy, a force kind of, to getting a couple of rifles in, having this response, as you're saying, putting in Monier, making all that noise, using all of that utility. But especially in this later moments, we see Monier getting the kills, yes, but you wouldn't be anything without the Cushy using the recon, without Crazy Guy. Like, there's so many things going on to why this was such a good round for RRQ.
And they can't stop, though.
Still, full bingo, full house for the side of the Ultimates of Fnatic. We saw that the round on the attack that RRQ got on Lotus was with all of those Ultimates.
Hold on. Just wait and see if anyone would dare disrespect that smoke. You can see the temptation for it. Yeah, they're going for it. And it's all a ruse. They're going to leave Xfero out here. That's fine. Backline player, and all in the meantime, they're building towards C. It's a win out for Boaster, though, punishing Xfero, but the C site now open. You're looking at the likes of Chronicle over on this side. He does have support from Kayak. They've got plenty of ults to play with if they feel like they need this still. A lot to be utilized. Into the post plant, we look at the utility. Monier still got plenty. Jemkin still with a bit. Crazy Guy has the full house basically in place, so a lot to be done here. And this position could be everything. Timing, patience, pays with one. He gets the info on the others. They now need to ready themselves to what's coming. Spots out the player and gets the kill. Jemkin's done well. Layers to this, though. Cushy's still going to be in position for this. They can't make the most of this ult coming out from Kayak. They've been denied this. Cushy's in trouble, though. Overwhelmed by Kron. And now down to 2. Jemkin and Crazy Guy, can you hold on to this up against the 3 of Fnatic? Defuse started. Denied the first player peeking, but the defuse is coming in. They can't take him away from it.
Fnatic finally manages to get a round on the board. We said that those ultimates were going to be important right at the beginning of the round. Crashy's trying to create some conditioning for it. I have to say, did Boaster not have a weapon? Because he got a kill with the classic. I don't know if he ran out of bullets.
It wouldn't be the first time he's forgotten to get a weapon. Or armor, or anything.
Such a good round. I think that at some point we still saw a little bit of that face of that disjointed Fnatic, but they've been so good on this retakes.
But it did come down to a 1v1 with 3 ults invested, right? This is still, if you're looking at it just kind of bigger picture, I wouldn't say it's even bad for RRQ.
Alpha needs to ult, get a kill, go back on the board if Fnatic wants to bring this back.
And they are avoiding that A side of the map. They don't fancy it this time, at least not early. Glance towards B. And a patient Kayak waiting for any pixel to show, but speaking of patience, both sides trying to get a read. Yeah, it was. I like this, though. A change of pace, a gear shift from RRQ. They do have this ult to bank on. Util being cleared. Chronicle just trying to drift in behind that, though. So they've got to be quick on their toes if they want to try and punish it, and he doesn't. Doesn't swing the window by any means. Backside now controlled, and they're going to get the plant from this.
I'm surprised that Alpha does not stop that from happening. He lives his ultimate, that kill contract for the retake, trying to get someone out of the fight. Xfair waiting way behind, expecting Fnatic to, again, push through A.
Well, they have been punishing those flanks a lot, right? The amount of times we'll see a player behind, but this mostly is going to go through CT, through Garage. There's that ult, and there's the catch. Jemkin taken. In the meantime, the Paranoia then pushed in. You can see Monyet picking up the space. And the 1v1 is not won by Alpha against the odds. Monyet cleared back to side, but then Jemkin on the 1-2 punch. That's the player we've been waiting to see.
That is the Jenkin that we were promised and has finally arrived in Toronto. 7 on the board for RRQ, looking like a renovated and different team on this Haven.
They look revitalized, Bayer. This looks like confidence. This looks like the team we wanted. They are taking Fnatic to a map 3 if it keeps on at this pace.
They needed to believe in themselves. They
Spot
needed
on.
to believe they deserved that top seed, that they could do such things against a team like Fnatic. This composition from them has been stolen and tried out by many teams, one of them being them. So they know exactly where the weaknesses are.
And again, in my mind, that makes the problem for Alpha worse.
16 and 2.
Yes, he's absolutely nailing this. And this is now compounding issues for Alpha. The confidence won't be there. The ult didn't go well. It almost felt like he was hesitant to invest it. But a mid-walk is their reaction. Bayek not going to connect. It looked close, but not close enough. Going to try and prop up Alpha, play him into this. But again, RRQ are no slouches. They're going to go through the checklist.
Yep.
And they shouldn't be making errors. They can take their time here. They don't have to play at the tempo that Fnatic would want.
Fnatic, of course, money's not the best. Too many rounds on the side of RRQ. Taking their time, and Alpha is trying to go for a time in here. Crazy guy going to be the end of this round for him.
Yeah, this is exactly what RRQ were dreaming of. Played in well with the curiosity of the Fnatic players, and also probably just Alpha wanting to feel like he can get into this game. 3-9 is a quiet game from him.
I think he must have felt a little bit, unlucky when he got on the ult, and it was like, oh, is the guy that is 13 and 2? Oh. Ooh.
Anyone else,
Yeah.
please?
I think he needed that for confidence.
Yes.
And RRQ just walking
30 seconds left.
onto A.
Yeah, this is just beautiful to witness.
Just passing by.
Really solid. I normally would get a bit nervous around this time just because it does get a bit late here. There's always a chance it could go
enemy
wrong.
remaining.
As the way they're playing, I don't have that much fear. And that's why RRQ continue their path here. 8-2, Fnatic floundering under the pressure of this. Truly upset potential in the making.
Yeah, absolutely. RRQ knew what they were doing, choosing this map. They knew the Fnatic played it yesterday. They saw no surprises in the picks. They said, ooh, we know this song. We know where we can fight you, and we know what to stop it. We know where we've struggled against.
Good job, guys.
And just like we saw on map number 1, Fnatic are now requesting their second timeout. Of course, in map 1, it was RRQ using both of them in that first half. But with a couple of rounds left on the attack, they need to get something else on the board. We're speaking about, what was it, the one after Pistol and Eco, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then we had, no, it was after, because they won the bonus. It's coming back to me. But there's been rounds with a lot of utility invested, a lot of ultimates, very expensive ones, and never in comfort. We're speaking about a Fnatic that was going from flawless to flawless in Lotus, and that right now RRQ are defining this Haven. This double duelist, Jemkin, is back online. And just following him is Monyet. Oh, I want a big cheese too. I don't know what a big cheese is. Should I say that?
I don't know either. I wasn't going to bring attention to it. I was just going to say that, honestly, and I'm not even trying to, ham it up to the crowd, because I'm not going to yell it, so maybe they won't even really notice, but the Toronto crowd's kind of been sick.
Yes.
They've actually kind of been, they just cheer for good VALORANT, which is rare. I like that. Big fan.
They remind me a lot of the Japan one.
Ooh,
It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, glazing over. Time to focus. Fnatic, let's see if you can recover anything these last couple of rounds, right? And again, though, in this moment for RRQ, they can flip the script themselves, right? They can come back into this call. Yeah, nice timeout, guys. Anyway, we're going to just change things up. Good luck. Now, it's going towards C. Chronicle is deep within enemy territory, and he is dead. Bye-bye. Monyet back to the side. He did actually get Jemkin down, which is wild. Hold on. Ooh. I thought that was on the money. It wasn't for the second time. But the plant's going to be coming in now. Garage pressure probably from Alpha coming in soon, but Monyet's doing wonders. Didn't even catch that one. But for now, you look at what they've got in the post plant. Still got that paranoia, still got a lot to play with here. And Alpha's got to be an instigator. We've got to see the man, the Wonder Kid himself. He needs to make an appearance. And it looks like RRQ trying to bolster the numbers on the side, and here he goes. Alpha strides in, kicks down the door, couldn't get the second. Crazy Guy denies now, Boaster fills the space. Pressure from CT. Looking to try and close the net together though. It's not working out when Monyet is doing these sort of things. RRQ defying expectations now, keeping Fnatic on only 2 rounds.
I absolutely love that out of the 2 timeouts that we've seen this half, we see such curated rounds for the side of RRQ. Again, just being very, very fast on the execute. On the other side, we see an Alpha that is not hitting the shots. It doesn't matter that he has a shield to go with. We see an RRQ that is hitting everything. And it didn't even matter that Jemkin went down at the beginning of the round.
And now it's not an over game, right? It's still not even an over half, but I do start considering map 3. And a loss like this weighs heavy, right? We have to talk about the mental effect this could have on Fnatic, even after you throw in what happened in game 1 they played. But back to what was working, Monyet on a run. Tries to keep the tempo high here, sets an expectation, and they bite on the bait. Look at them, 4 players. They're quick to react, though. They've decided, yeah, there's nothing behind that. We've cleared it. I like this late pressure through Sewer as well. That could potentially catch him. No, Monyet wins that fight. Boaster goes down. On towards C, they want to try and take the fight on this. And look who's winning it! RRQ demolishing Fnatic. Kron trying to hold some space here. Plot's not in, but it doesn't seem to matter as it's only Crashy's alive in a 1v4. Oh, this is outstanding from RRQ.
A 10-2 half. We were speaking about how good Fnatic was looking after a 9-3 on Lotus. But a 10-2 with Fnatic looking so lost for answers. Let's see if they can change things up on the second half.
It's over.
Esports is a $2 billion industry now, but it all started in dingy basements and cramped living rooms.
From how the pros train to how the money flows, this G2 and Mastercard series breaks it all down. 12 episodes, packed with insight and lessons for anyone looking to understand the world of competitive gaming. Ready to learn the game behind the game?
Stay tuned for what's next.
You won't want to miss it.
The beauty of the lower bracket resides in the fact of its fatality. At 10-2, Fnatic will be feeling this now. The likelihood of a map 3 becomes real. And then the chance of survival comes down to 1 map. And it all compounds, Bayer. It all becomes a little too real, and those echoes of Shanghai get closer and closer. We get ourselves ready for the second half, but this is starting to feel like the tempo is shifting.
Yeah, and as we can see by the Coinbase Econ report, Jemkin is on 1. We were saying that about Chronicle on the previous map, but Fnatic are finding today their worst fear. The form that RRQ proved to have in Pacific. They're showing it today. They're showing it in this second map. They are not defeated after that first Lotus. And a map that has always been so good for Fnatic is about to take them onto somewhere they might not be as comfortable.
Yeah, we don't know yet. That is into the dark, but it's not over. 2 rounds isn't a lot, though. It takes 1 mistake, one snowball round, 1 all ultimates online.
And with the pistols have been going, Lauren. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, or one Gemkin round, one Monyet round. Look at the score. Look at the state of those two. Absolute monsters. We go into the second half now, and it is going to be sweaty palms for Fnatic here. They need a pistol, and that's not how you start it.
Yeah, Alpha cannot seem to connect on this Haven. And him going first with that Sheriff. I'll find him out. He's about to buy as well.
Well, the start of the end, potentially. As we wait, look at the presence on this side. 4 players for RRQ, all here. With that smoke going in, they feel confident in the hole. They know where they are. The paranoia divine. It divides the approach, but actually Chronicle 6... Hello? Hello? Sorry, how is Cushy alive? And how did Fnatic just win that fight? They had no right to be able to do this. Somehow walking in towards A, deep in enemy hands, and they walk out with player's advantage. Xfero has a mountain to climb. Right, left, center, just about every position, all complementary. How do you try and divide that? You don't. Chronicle had a round when they really had no right to.
Yeah, Chronicle, brilliant on that first map. And a round that, of course, Fnatic needed. If they want to even make this competitive, of course, it had to start in the pistol. Lauren, they've gotten pistols before. We know what happens on that second one. Maybe that overconfidence. And even though this corner wasn't checked, and it meant the death for Kayak, it's a round that goes in Fnatic's favor. And that is something that they haven't heard in a while.
It's been a drought.
So that they can keep their head in the game.
There we go, there we go, there we go.
He needs a bit of it, old boaster, given the
revealing area.
Battle cry here, but what a shot from Kayak.
You cannot doubt in second round if there is even one rifle, it has to go to Kayak.
Yeah, this guy is monstrous in his work. And Crashy's concise as ever. Plays it well. No loose threads being found here.
I like that. You use the second round, you've gotten that opener, you go and farm some orbs, thinking about the length that this half could have.
Oh god, oh god, oh god, what are we doing? What are we doing? Stop faffing about. What are we doing? Okay, thank you, Alpha. Thank you for remembering who you are. Bloody hell. I didn't love seeing that, Bayer. That made me get nervous.
Chronicle just going to be on the half. On the front, sorry. And now Alpha is going to be the one farming his ultimate. The spike can be planted anytime. And Crazy Guy's just wandering around with his classic on the other side of the map.
Yeah, so plant in play. Alpha going to get a lot of farm for that. And again, you're looking at him getting close to that ult. Going to need to see him do probably better than the first half. Which, again, you've got to feel like there will be a lot in the tank for him if he can just get himself activated here. And he needs a farming round, right? Get the confidence building. And normally we wouldn't have that discussion, but a couple of bad maps can certainly make those issues occur. Now, overall, bigger picture, Fnatic would be happy with that.
I don't know if there was a rifle there that can't get, but celebrating is also important. Now, on the previous half, we saw RRQ getting that bonus as well. Thank God that Alpha didn't go down here, because I think that that would have messed with his confidence massively. But again, Fnatic, they're no stranger to a comeback. I think, to me, it starts in the bonus round. I know that they're comfortable when the scores hits 11,
sure,
but for them, I think confidence-wise as well, for the rest of the tournament, it goes over there. And for the side of RRQ, you want to continue here. You want to go to that third map. You already proved it on the first half.
Yes. Again, they don't need to overly hurry this RRQ. I don't want to make, see them making kind of, not silly investments, I guess, but they don't need to overplay their hand. They've got plenty of rounds to play with here. Let's see them keep some composure. Yes, Fnatic, always solid in this. They'll always give you a fight back. There is caliber to this team for a reason. And a nice attempt there from Kayak, but forced away. Now, RRQ going to clear sight. They now know it's a deeper off-site post-plant. How do they manage this one? Oh, that's certainly not going to help things. Sorry, crazy guy, crazy. Someone stop it, defusing! RRQ! Shatter! Fnatic! 5 against them, and they steal the defuse!
Everybody just putting their bodies in front of the diffuser. A Red Bull clutch for the side of RRQ. All the kills are going to be there, but of course that is the 11.
Look at this. Look at this. But you watch this round to this point, you're like, nah, it's fine. Wait. Wait.
Last player standing.
Crazy guy. Oh
It's
my
like the feet and everything.
But it's so selfless, as said, just diving in front of him, willing to die for the cause. RRQ make it up to 11, and Fnatic will be reeling from that. Devastating, but a costly round, of course. Xvero takes a moment to get out of what could have been danger there for himself.
He will never wait again, I'll tell you that. Look at the position also for Monier. Speaking about how Fnatic wanted to fight that A side, it's just him with all this space. He's going to find a lot of friends very soon.
How much does he get? He was the danger on the first half, and now he's got a lot of players, and he can't get past the first hurdle. Kayak with a good clear, keeping Fnatic on the warpath. And a re-clear towards middle as Chronicle is waiting. Very good read from Kron.
Where is everyone hiding?
Great impression. And this should be the slam dunk now, really. No surprises for Crazy Guy, and Kron. Good tag as well towards Xvero.
Having the position in both of the players, think about how Crazy Guy and Xvero, well, most of the people for RRQ, even though they were able to get that round, hold on.
Player standing.
The economy wasn't the best, so getting the kills here is also very important for Fnatic. Remove those rifles.
Yeah, and even in the loss, obviously 5 of them were alive, so they get to build their finances pretty substantially throughout these last couple of rounds. That Judge, not really gonna be brought in. Crash is gonna catch him. And it's a step back now for Fnatic, slowly taking the walk.
Very important as well to have Chronicle getting those 2 kills on mid. But he saw them. I think it was Jenkin with pushing with the... Was it an operator or was it a Vandal?
Idiot.
Not too sure.
Let's see. Oh, never mind. We're not. It's going to see it. Yeah, NT.
Unlucky. Prius on the replay is crazy. Now, we got classics, right? So it's just weather the storm here. It's that slow build back, right? Again, normally I'd say you wouldn't get many rounds against Fnatic like they did in the third, so you're going to have to do it the hard way now. Fnatic start just rebuilding, and it's a lot off the back of, I've got to say as well, Chronicle. He's doing very well. Crashies too, having very good performances here. It's not your big dogs really, though. Kayak and Alpha haven't been, you know, 1v5ing rounds like we've seen before. It's been somewhat average from them, which is surprising when their average is normally excellent. But Kayak, he heard it. He fancies getting back into this. Plays Crazy Guy. But this round isn't one that I'm all that mindful of. It is just classics. And for Fnatic, as long as they don't, you know, forget to maybe kill the person defusing the spike, they should be fine.
This is also very important, right? They're clearing the rest of the site. Yes, there are 3 players alive, but you want your finances to be as clean as possible. Yes, the bank is wonderful for them. But again, if they want to close this in the second map, they're going to need way, way more rounds. RRQ just, you know, trying to find something, but probably just waiting to die to the spike. Those ultimates already building up. Kushi also, one of the players that we were highlighting. I really want to see his development on this second half, especially for Sova, so close to his ultimate as well. I don't want him just as a support player. I think that he has so much more to give to this RRQ roster.
Very much with you.
Oh, it's a cute shot.
And Jar looks very suspect. Kayak, oh, I thought he got the second. I was about to take my headset off. It's all good in the end, though, but the ults have been farmed. You got to look towards it. Kayak's got his. Alpha's got his. Crashy's only 2 away. Boaster, 1 up. We've got a lot of them building here. Now, on the other side for RRQ, this is a big purchase for them, Bayer. And they are just on that verge now where this becomes a potential turnaround for
Exactly.
Fnatic.
I mean, if RRQ is to lose the next round, it's time to call a timeout first.
Yep.
Because it would be a 5-1 in the half for the side of Fnatic. Jemkin on that operator. Looking to cover up from B.
Cutting through.
What's the look from Fnatic to begin with? It looks like an early fight towards A. Chronicle, normally a safe pair of hands, though. I don't see him making many errors. Kayak quickly clearing that C site.
Over there.
Breaking that utility. Spots the camera, spots the trip.
Good choices. These are all the right choices thus far, right? They've managed to navigate away from most of the threats. Clean plant, deep post plant as well, with a lot of ults to bank on. This is very, very good thus far.
Same at Sex, Pharaoh Chronicle has to be in the back. Probably finding Monier fairly soon.
This retake means so much to RRQ. A tag could be lethal now. Okay. And into the site. Paranoia going to find Boaster. Going to get himself out of dodge, but that's 3 players now pushing back in, and Kayak misses his opportunity. Backs away towards Long, and now Hunter's Fury layered on top. They're all now literally shooting fish in a barrel. It's a very clear, straight shot. Defuse! It's been happening again! How are we seeing this again? Get me that on the replay. How the hell have RRQ stolen away another round?
If it ain't broke, don't change it.
True.
It worked for RRQ, 5v5 retake. And just by that ultimate, forcing players out, Fnatic thinking that they had what it takes, that maybe that Alpha was going to remove the player that fused in the spike. Where? The 2 rounds that they've lost this half have been those sneaky diffuses.
The
In
gods,
broad light.
the gods are smiling on RRQ today.
You
but
have
they
to.
have to get across the finish line, right? This is all lovely stuff. They still need to land that final round. Now Fnatic still have finances, because most of the time they've lost the round when there's like 3 of them alive. So for now, they can still get this purchase. They still have Crashy's ult, but they need to stick the landing.
So good for RRQ to save the distances in the previous round, something that they also are doing in this one. Of course, Monnier is the exception.
Gemkin! You absolute beauty. Now they start firing back. Insult to injury, salt to the wound. Alpha trying to play up some space here, take something away. Crashes does well, Gemkin goes down, trying to secure this plant, trying to play for a bit of safety, but they're surrounded. Kayak going to try and find it out, but Xpero going to find him. Trades out effectively. Alpha, 1v3, it's going to happen! It's match 3, baby! 13-6, RRQ turns the hell up.